Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to be doing my top 6 books slash series of middle grade that I have read so far. So most of these books are books that I read in the past when I was younger because I haven't read too many middle grade books now. It's not one of the genres that I typically jump to, although I have been very interested in some of the newer middle grade books that came out. I've been seeing them around and they look really good. So like I might jump back into that age range and check them out and see how they are. I have read some for my blog too, but a lot of the ones that I read for the blog didn't really hold up to like that top tier level for me. And so, I mean, these have like nostalgia for me and they're just all a really good time. Well, I wouldn't say really good time. Like some of them are more emotional. You'll see. But yeah. Anyways, I'll start off with one that I don't actually have in physical format anymore, but that I adored as a kid. Captain Underpants. This series was so much fun, and I just remember tra la la, and then like he goes off to like turn into Captain Underpants. Those books were hilarious and like such a staple when I was growing up, and I had such a fun time with them. You used to get them, we could order them in like the Scholastic book orders. I know that some of you out there know about these, where you get these little like paper pamphlets that you'd go through, and it was like the best time because you got to bring it home. And if your parents liked that you were reading, like mine did, they would let me like choose a bunch from there and then order them to the school, and then I got to keep them obviously because they were ordered to the school for me. Also, when the Scholastic Book Fair came to like our actual school and you got to go through and like get all the cool books and like cool erasers and just fun stuff. Oh, it was such a fun time. So yeah, very nostalgic, but Captain Underpants, that was a big one for me. Another one that hit hard was Bridge to Terabithia. This book was emotional. It hit more emotionally when I was older because I reread it and also saw the movie, and yeah, this was hard because there's like a big key moment that happens in this one that you're not expecting, and it it helps you like learn how to deal with grief as a child, I would say. But yeah, it was a very like enlightening book too because it's talking about like children and their imagination and what they can create with their imagination. So it was really cool. It was such a like beautiful book, and definitely something that moved me as a kid and as an adult. One that I thought was really fun, and there's 13 of them, is A Series of Unfortunate Events. This is just the first one. I have the entire series on my bookshelf in the other room, but this one was just fun because you always got to follow along with the Baudelaire kids and just get up to like mischief and hijinks when they're like trying to escape Count Olaf, who is like this evil guy that's trying to inherit their money because these kids, their parents died, and so this is actually like a distant relative of theirs. So he's trying to get custody of them so that he can have something bad happen to the children, and then he inherits the fortune. But it's like him trying to do this over a series of 13 different books, and it's just the different things they get into are so ridiculous and wild, but it's so much fun too. I believe the second one is where they go to an uncle's house. Like they have all these other like relatives too. So it's like they keep getting passed along to different relatives. And the uncle, he has like a reptile room because he's like a person that studies reptiles, and it was really cool. And then I think in the third one they go to their aunt's house that's like creaking over a like huge cliff, and in the lake below it's infested with like man-eating leeches. So it's like such weird stuff, but it's so much fun. And yeah, it was just like such an interesting book series, and it's also written in a way that's like the narrator is saying everything in the moment, and it's not like I don't know how to describe it. You're reading it and the narrator's like narrating at the same time in like a side passage, so you're getting the storyline, but it keeps like jumping you in and out because the narrator will like insert themselves into the storyline. Anyway, it's interesting, definitely a fun one, and I would still recommend this series. Like I think young kids would still enjoy this. I think I would still enjoy this if I reread it. So yeah, It's 13 books if you want to go through a fun series of unfortunate events. Another series that I loved was the Island series. So this is following a bunch of kids that get stranded on an island after they were on like this boat trip. And so it's them and their survival. That's pretty much it. I think I really liked this because when I was younger, I really liked the show Survivor. And so I was very into the whole like camping on an island and surviving and fending for yourself. And so these kids actually had to go through that, not in the best of circumstances, but they still had to do it. And so it was just like fun to read about and feel like I was being a part of that. So yeah, that's why I really liked this one. And I think this author also wrote like a series for scuba diving, and I think there's another one called Everest for like snow stuff. So yeah, there's multiple kinds that this author has written about, and they're all kind of like survival stories. So yeah, lots of fun. Another classic, of course, is Holes. This one was so good. I'm sure many of you guys know about the movie, but this book was a staple and one that we read. I think we read this for school. I believe it was in like grade 6 or grade 5 that we had to read this book and then like write a book report on it. But then we got to watch the movie after, and so it was really fun. But this is essentially like a juvenile detention area, but it's more like a camp place where these kids go, and to like work off their sentence, they have to dig holes. And that's it. They're just digging holes all day. There's obviously like a subplot happening at the same time, but it's just a very interesting concept for like, I don't know, this juvenile detention thing. Because like I don't even think the stuff that these kids did was very bad, but all of a sudden they're shipped off to this camp to go dig holes. And yeah, it went on like a different kind of like adventure to it, which I really enjoyed. And of course I loved the movie because of Shia LaBeouf. He was fantastic. I used to watch Even Stevens, which was on the Disney Channel, and he's just like, he was such a fun like kid actor, so I always like watched his shows and loved him. But yeah, this one was a really good time and definitely a good read. And then last but not least, of course, we have the Percy Jackson series. So this one is actually about to come out with the new, I don't know if it's a show or a movie. I think it's a show on Disney Plus. So that's exciting, and you better believe I'm going to be watching it. I actually didn't mind the adaptation with Logan Lerman. I thought that he was done pretty well, but I think that the new one will be done well as well, because in the new one the kids are actually like closer to the age range like the actors are, so I think that will make more sense. But this series, I actually read this series in college because so many people had told me about it and I had never picked it up before. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna sit down and binge through this entire series. And I did, and it was so good. I really loved it. I think my favorite was probably The Sea of Monsters, number 2. But like the entire series itself was fantastic, and it really dives into like Greek mythology and all that stuff. And I loved like Camp Half-Blood and all the different things that happened there. It was really cool and a lot of fun, and you got to like experience different creatures from the mythology. They go on all sorts of adventures. It was just a very fun series filled with adventure, friendship, mythology. Like it was good. So if you want to read a fun middle grade series that will keep you entertained the whole time, and one where it's kind of like a stylized like adventure where they have like different chapters of their adventure, then this would definitely be the one for you. But yeah, plus you might as well read it because like the show's coming out soon, so there you go. Anyways, those are all the ones that I have currently that I have read so far. I'm going to try and read some more like newer middle grade in the future, and we'll see if I'll revisit this list and have any updates to it. But those are my favorites for now. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have read any of those, because I'm always excited to see other people that have this same like nostalgia from these books that they read when they were younger. So yeah, definitely tell me in the comments down below. Or if you have recs of new ones, then tell me there as well. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Ko-fi page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as linked by my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.